It's the fact that Meech is with Floyd in the picture, and y'all gotta really peep game and analyze. That boy said real power with the dot 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 dot. Woo-wee.
Peace. Welcome to another episode of the Hot Science Network. I'm your host, Divine. So I happened to be scrolling on Instagram, and I came across this image of Lil Meech, Floyd Mayweather, and Rick Ross that you guys see on the screen right here. And I immediately knew I had to record and talk about what this image represents. This image says a lot of things to me. But one of the things it really speaks to is a fault of 50 Cent, and that is altruism. For those of you who don't know, I'm going to put the definition of altruism on the screen. We're going to talk about the cost of altruism. Let's talk about that for a minute. Let's put this definition up. So altruism is the concern for the well-being of others, independently of personal benefit or reciprocity. As much as 50 Cent is labeled a bad guy, an evil person, a gangster, a bully, and the list goes on and on and on. What nobody can debate, and secondly, what nobody wants to talk about, is the fact that 50 has selflessly invested and poured millions of dollars and countless hours of his time and energy trying to build up other brothers around him for the past 20-something years. For the past 20-something years, you need multiple hands to count the number of brothers the 50 Cent has invested in an attempt to give these brothers a future, give them a springboard, a launch pad into wealth, notoriety, and status. Now, when these opportunities fizzle out and these guys don't live up to their potential, they fall into two categories. They either silently disappear, which is commendable. You know, you sort of have to say, okay, you didn't live up to the expectations, and you just kind of drop it. But the second category is where everybody seems to want to position themselves. And that's what Lil Meech is positioning himself, along with his father. And that is that they show disrespect. They spit in the face of the person whose hand fed them. That's what it looks like. And nobody wants to understand this. See, a lot of y'all had this expectation that you deserve something, that somebody owes you something, that when you get out in this world, somebody's going to take care of you and give you something. Brother, this is a very harsh world we live in. It is very unforgiving. Most people get very limited opportunities in life. Fifth has tried desperately to give people an opportunity to reach immense levels of wealth for their families. Generational wealth is what he is trying to expose countless brothers to. And most of these dudes either fell or spit in his face. And it's crazy to me to see this. The paradox here is Fifth is one of the few black people in entertainment history who have reached his level and has given back as much as he has given back. This brother has reached down the ladder to people in his old neighborhood in Southside. We talking people out of state. Look at Big Meech and Lil Meech. They not from Queens. Fifth trying to help them, put them on. He has tried to put on people like Young Buck, who come from somewhere down south, Tennessee, I think. The Gang, all kind of other people, countless other people. I can tell you this, that something I know personally. There was a time period when the G Unit office would give opportunities to any brother that had a skill. If you knew video, film editing, you knew music production, you knew songwriting, you could sing, you could rap. If you had any sort of talent or skill that you can demonstrate, you got a meeting, somebody would listen to you, and if you were good, you got a check. I knew a few brothers that got checks out of the G Unit office. Most of us was getting meetings and getting opportunities. This is the part nobody talks about. Everybody's quiet about this. They just start saying, oh, this guy Fifth, this is how he is. I'm like, yo, you got to be kidding me. This is the price of altruism. No matter who you help, you going to be the bad guy because you got involved with him. So when Fifth turns the faucet off, all of a sudden he's the bad guy. There's one more piece to this entire thing that seems to be hanging people up, and that is, does Big Meech really owe 50 Cent any loyalty? But people to even ask that is just absolutely crazy to me, and explains to me why 50 is actually going through this. If I make an agreement with your family to work with you in order to create a massive opportunity for wealth through cinema, film, through TV shows, through products and merchandise and everything else, spinoffs, licensing. If I make an agreement with you to do this, and then you turn around and also accept a business opportunity with my enemy, we have a serious problem. Why was now the opportune time to work with my enemy? And first of all, why would you work with my enemy at all when you and I have an active business deal going? Either you must not believe in me or you must not like me, or it's a combination of the two. Either way, I ain't going with you. I ain't going with you no more after that. So the fact that some of y'all seem to be confused by this and say, well, Meech don't owe him loyalty, that tells me why this is happening. That explains everything. And this is why I say Fifth has to really reconsider how he moves in the future off of this. The father seems to think it's an ideal opportunity to allow Rick Ross to play him and manipulate him into doing some sort of concert, some sort of benefit concert or something. Now, why would you do that? Why would you do that? But see, I'm saying why would you do that? Because I understand loyalty. I understand that if you are granting me with an opportunity that I don't even deserve, we didn't grow up together, we're not from the same part of the United States, you don't owe me anything. Here you are giving my son an opportunity and giving him $5 million or whatever the case was and helping my family. Rather than me appreciate that and understand how grateful I should be, I sit here and take some photos with your enemy and talk about how I'm going to do a concert with him. How ridiculous is this, man? And then we sit here and say something is wrong with 50 Cent. And there's so many examples I can cite of guys who have done nothing but spit in his face. And the mystery again is the fact that none of these guys have anything to offer Fifth. They can't offer him nothing. There's nothing that they can offer him that's reciprocal. Let's bring this up. Fifth said he paid for this man to go to rehab, sent this man to rehab so that he could get back on track and really have his career in film, acting. And this young man got caught having nitrous oxide in his car. And Fifth said it's the stuff that goes in BB guns. What he's talking about is these airsoft guns. The pressure that's required to propel the projectile is based on air. It's these little canisters. What these kids are doing now, because I'm an old cat, I don't mess with any drugs. You know, at one point I was a herb smoker. I don't do any of that anymore. But I definitely don't understand or comprehend this whole thing with just wanting to get high off anything, which is what these kids do now.
Well, a new warning tonight about an old way to get high that's now gone viral on TikTok.
That's right. We're talking about laughing gas or whippets, whatever you call it. It's back. Fox 5's Richard Giacobis with what you need to know about the dangers of nitrous oxide.
If you guys never tried a strawberry nitrogen air freshener, you guys need to check this out.
It's nothing new. In fact, this trend making the rounds on TikTok has been around for centuries.
It's a cheap high.
Cheap and easily accessible nitrous oxide, also known as laughing gas, the same laughing gas you get at the dentist's office. Years ago, it was called a whippet or hippie crack, legal to buy, but illegal to use as a high.
So we're taking on laughing gas or nitrous oxide likely.
And getting high by taking a whiff of nitrous is a dangerous new trend, mostly among college students who can buy the nitrous oxide cartridges used for whipped cream on Amazon for just $27. Kids pop them open and inhale to get that feeling of euphoria and, in some cases, a jolt of energy.
They will take any pill, they'll smoke anything, snort anything. Now they sniffing canisters. And when they are snorting them, or inhaling it, I don't know. They're inhaling these canisters and it's getting them high. And apparently this young man, Lil Meech, is into this, allegedly. So now you got a young guy with a drug habit, allegedly, who could never live up to the potential that 50 Cent would want to see him live up to. So Fifth has to pull the plug. You got a father that's disrespectful. You got a young man with a drug habit. How do you continue to pour millions of dollars down the drain investing in this family? You just can't. You just can't. This is ridiculous. Disrespectful, disloyal, and you got an alleged drug habit. These are the kind of people that Fifth keeps trying to invest in. He keeps finding people like this saying, yo, I'm going to invest in you. I'm going to invest in you. And what's crazy is he'd be wrong if he went out like Jay-Z and Kanye. They don't put the ladder down for nobody. They don't help nobody. We could name several other popular, high-ranking rappers who just don't give opportunities to the neighborhood, to their people, to nobody. Yo, Fifth, I could run off names of people right now the Fifth has cut 6-figure checks for. I'll give you one right now. I'll give you a softball. A brother named Apex. He did the beat for I Get Money. He was I hate to use the term no name, but he was a no-name producer. He was somebody that wasn't on. He was trying to get on. He was just making beats. And Fifth got a hold of the beat. I mean, it wasn't through a very honest way. That's a whole nother story, though. Fifth cut that man a 6-figure check, and that became one of the biggest records that Fifth has ever recorded. Cut that man a 6-figure. He could have gave that man $5,000, bro. He could have handed the man $2,000. Said, yo, take this and get lost. Gave that man a 6-figure check, man. This was a guy that wasn't Timberland. He wasn't Pharrell. He wasn't a name brand top-tier producer. Yo, Fifth was given opportunities like that, bro. This is the part none of y'all are talking about. I don't understand why nobody talks about this. Why all we talk about is all this negative stuff and not the fact that this man has poured millions of dollars across several people, multiple people, forget several, multiple, many. You need 4 hands that I can think of to count all the people this man has tried to help. This is why we got to respect brothers like that, because most of us get in a position, don't create jobs for our people. We don't create opportunities for our people. We're not sending the ladder down for people in our old neighborhood, for people in our communities. This guy is trying to feed people across multiple states. He's trying to feed people that that don't have any relationship to him in terms of geography or anything else. And he's doing it over and over again. They just spit in his face. And you have to ask a question. Why does he continue to do this to himself? Fifth is an altruist, bro. And I'm going to tell you something about that as it pertains to 50 Cent. Fifth's grandparents, like my grandparents, are from South Carolina, FBA, Black American freedmen. He was raised by his South Carolinian grandparents, like I was raised by my South Carolinian grandparents. And trust me on this. When you raised by your grandma from South Carolina, you learn compassion, you learn love, you learn altruism in that house, bro. Now, I get what he did out in the street was being a gangster and pumping cracks and doing all kind of other stuff with firearms and all that. But when you got an FBA upbringing, that's in you. That's your core. Regardless of what setting you in, that's in you. And even after this man sold 10 million records, he still said, yo, man, I need to look out for everybody else. I need to put other brothers on. I need to give some opportunities. Who makes beats? Who raps? Who sings? Who does film editing? I'm trying to do this thing called This Is 50. I'm going to need some people that know media. I don't want to give jobs to people that's already high ranking. No. Where my people that can help me build this and set this up? And I know people that was involved in that was just looking for an opportunity. And this dude gave opportunities for people to build those platforms for him. This is what y'all don't talk about when y'all disrespect him. This ain't me trying to kiss up to him. I'll tell it like it is, man. If the dude was evil, I'll be making a video talking about how evil he was, man. I'll just tell it like it is, man. The science is that brother has tried to help multiple people, man. He has stuck his neck out there trying to give opportunities to people. And he's one of these guys that wants the underdog to win. He wants the little guy who doesn't have a voice to get put on because he sees himself in those guys. And that's all he was. He was somebody that kept having doors slammed in his face. He said, yo, I'm talented. Why does this keep happening? And the music industry was like, yo, we was told not to work with you, not to do nothing with you. Nobody answering his calls. Everybody canceling his meetings, not wanting to meet with him. Producers not working with him anymore. And he said, man, I got to figure this out. And he never gave up on himself. And when he finally got put on, he said, yo, I don't want to see that happen to other brothers. Here's why I want to close this video. I made a reference earlier to the fact that people who didn't live up to Fifth's expectations or were bad investments, they could just walk off, man. They could just shake hands and be like, all right, man, you know, I'm sorry we had a falling out, didn't agree on things from a creative standpoint or from a fundamental standpoint in terms of, you know, you feeling betrayed or whatever, but I'll go my way, you go yours. And that'll be the end of it. Fifth seems to be the type of person that if you ain't talking about him, he don't seem to want to say nothing about you. But back to this photo. This dude, Lil Meech, allegedly is inhaling nitrous oxide and was given all kinds of opportunities he didn't deserve. You got rehab, you got acting school, you got put on TV. Why did you deserve that? For what? Because of who your daddy was? Why did you deserve that? But yet and still, you got it. And what you do right now is take a photo like this when it falls apart. That's the part right there that I say, man, everybody is lucky if Fifth ever does something for y'all again, man. It might be a miracle if that man ever tries to invest millions of dollars in some young brother again. This right here is why. Look at the screen. This right here is why. If that man says, you know what, I'm going to make my millions, I'm going to work with them other people, I'm going to work with Indians, I'm going to work with Asians, because there's a lot of top tier rappers that don't do nothing with brothers. This rapper's making a lot of money working with Indians and Asians over in Silicon Valley. They don't do nothing with brothers. They don't do nothing with black folks at all. And they getting a bag. Fifth could do that. Fifth could say, I ain't working with y'all again. I'm done working with black folks. I'm done. He could start investing his money with these Indian and Asian startups over in Silicon Valley. He could become a venture capitalist. He ain't got to deal with this nonsense no more. He could keep wearing his nice suits, take photos showing his teeth with Asians and white folks, and never do a darn thing with y'all Negroes again. He totally could. And he continues to keep working with y'all. And I want you to look at this screen. I want you to look at this screen and really ask yourself, man, for as bad as y'all talk about Fifth, boy, he must love his people. He must love his people to be putting up with this nonsense. Look at the screen, man. Boy, if I had the money he had, man, I got to tell you. I got to tell you, bro. You see how Kanye, Jay, how they don't deal with black folks? You see that? Fifth is the only one at that level that's still dealing with y'all. Are y'all not noticing that? Y'all ain't picking up on that? Look at that screen, bro. Crazy. Crazy. That this is what you do, man. I get it. It's after the fact. But why is it necessary, bro? What's that going to do? What's that going to do? Neither one of them dudes in that picture with you want to do anything with black folks. Especially Floyd. No disrespect to Floyd. He's an amazing boxer, man. Amazing. But as far as dealing with his people, forget about it. Forget about it. He ain't giving nobody no opportunities. You can forget that. And Rick Ross, his whole mission is just trying to be a proxy to demonstrate who hates 50. He's nothing but a proxy. If you're out there in the world and you have an issue with Fifth, you use Rick Ross as a proxy. That's crazy. All right, man, I said enough on this video. I'm going to give you guys your time back. I appreciate your viewership. And please, if at all possible, hit like and subscribe. I appreciate those of you who have been subscribing. I'm trying to build this channel up. I appreciate that. It's going to help the YouTube algorithm show my videos a little bit more. We're going to have a lot more content coming your way. And I want you guys, as always, to have a productive day. but also have a blessed day as well. Peace and love. Before you leave today's video, please be sure to check out our sponsor, Soul Food Tees Apparel. Soul Food Tees is a vibrant graphic apparel company dedicated to celebrating and uplifting the unique experiences of Black Americans. Visit their site today at soulfoodtees.com and use the checkout code SCIENCE to receive 10% off your entire order.